welcome to this very special wine cellar in central Melbourne. The clients came to visit us and went through a design brief. The existing or the space had been designed with their design team to have a Reimagined ceiling, which we see here, which represents the underside of as if you're underwater and looking up through to the water surface, and you're seeing the rippling of the water above with sunlight shining on it. And I think that works very effectively. There's light apertures here, 3 of them, which represent stepping stones in the internal courtyard above. The surface treatment in the courtyard is stepping stones and the gravel, and it's replicated here. And 3 of the stepping stones are glass, with the apertures down into the cellar. So one, you get some nice subtle light moving its way into the cellar, and you also get some nice backlit light through the bottles at night viewed the other way. The cellar, obviously longer sort of narrow space, and the client was drawn to our work through another curved cellar that they'd seen of our work, and I think the curve, this wine racking's concave and curved, and I think you get the full effect of that when you've got a view line along it. I think standing right in front of it, you lose a little bit of that movement and drama in those sort of two elements. So I think this was a perfect space to really show that that wine wall with the curve and concave. Behind us, there's a mirrored wall with a secret door. Again, the idea there was the curve keeps going. You get the replicated or reflective view of the wine cellar, creating an abundance of space, and the mirror image of the wine racking. We always joke about you double your wine cellar sense of space, and you also double your wine collection without having to pay for it. So good use of a mirror. This wall, it really is an artistic piece. I think even without bottles in it, it's very dramatic. Lots to feel and see. There's backlighting top and bottom that also snakes its way along, and can be really subtly lit and play with those spaces with light. So that's the main view line when you walk in. It's the main view line you look along when you go to the adjoining home cinema. And then we get into more sort of traditional cellar elements. So at the end here, we've got bottle displays and 2 display bottle pieces. Often we use this 2 display design to really either one, showcase your wine, but also to show what you've stored below on the bottom display, and the upper display to sort of show what you're storing above. So it's a nice way just to identify where your wine is, and to categorize it. We create very little subtle pelmets with LEDs that can be dimmed, and again lighting just the display bottles is enough to navigate the space and have a nice sort of nice ambience within the cellar. We then transition around to the side wall here, and here we've used slatted shelves. Sometimes we have a bottom section of slatted shelf, and then we have 6 bottles and then into display, or we have three slatted shelves, and this gives you options for boxes, mass stacking wine, it's quite a good use or multi-use of space. It's also not the main view line when you walk in. I think the focus is obviously on this more artistic piece. and more traditional end. And then once you're in here, it's more general storage, and we've got a tasting alcove with a light in it, display with decanter and special pieces. And again, the display wraps around. We're always big on trying to create that continuity on a corner, which really gives you a sense of, I think it continues the space and doesn't sort of stop and start, so it wraps its way around. We use slatted sections. We often do this with really fine joinery to, in some cases it's for supply and return airs, where we're trying to integrate that into the joinery with climate control. In this case, we've used this around the upper stairwell as that comes down through the building. It's a nice finishing off sort of section within the racking. And that was done again here, where the concave meets the corner return. Again, we've got the slatted infill panel, really nice, almost Japanese sort of kumiko sized pieces. The end of our bottle displays, we also have slats again, just to sort of cover it off, but it's all that, that nice sort of finished piece. Bottom of the racking here, this was sort of progressive sort of design on site. The decision was made to run the pebbles into the bottom of the racking, so you get that continuity of the bottom floor space. In some cellars we've also created a gravel moat in front of the cellar, and that can work quite nicely too. But a nice touch with that running through and in between, and then behind that main curve you've got another bronze mirror that's also just giving you a sense of space. And and I think a lot of the elements of this cellar, it's sort of really it's a play on space, and really challenges your perception when you're in here and trying to really work out what's happening. So I think that's always sort of an enjoyable aspect of spaces where you're questioning and working through what's going on. So that's a bit of wrap up of this space. It was quite a challenging job. We actually had to, all the main components were made back in the factory. A lot of boat building sort of traditions with the cedar frames, and then we couldn't get this down, so it was actually had to be built in the adjoining cinema space. So we actually set up a temporary workshop, a temporary joinery in that area there, and we set up on site and actually put it all together, and then it was rolled in. So there was also careful planning with the builder, and door opening sizes, heights that had to be achieved to get the racking in. And then we actually used metal bar rollers, and it was even in the adjoining space we actually had to have ceiling panels removed so that we could actually put it all together in a horizontal on ground manner and then stand it. So all those calculations had to be made, and timing had to be worked in with the builder so they hadn't progressed too far to enable us to do our work. So it was stood, we rolled it in on steel pipe rollers, and then we had to obviously do all the gravel work and lighting, and then mirror work had to be done, and then it was put back in place. So quite a bit of planning. Amazing building team here. They were very accommodating with working in with timing and the requirements we needed to get the racking in. But I think even the racking on these sides here too, that was all, again, you couldn't get any, you've got a full 90-degree bend in the stair at 2 points, so there was no getting any sizable joinery elements down here. It all had to be manufactured down in the adjoining basement space. I think the curves, I think with building, and fine sort of woodworking, I think creating curves and creative elements with timber, is always exciting woodworking element. And I think boat building, like my father-in-law was a boat builder, and I was lucky enough to build a boat with him over a 4-year period, and there was like a lot of boat building techniques that I was lucky enough to explore and work through with him during that project, and now we've been able to implement that into other aspects of building and wine cellars. So I think I think of any woodworker, there's a lot of enjoyment that comes out of intricate pieces, where there's a lot of foresight into planning and then executing and finished results. So I think it's pretty exciting, and I think our team at Cellar Creations, I think it's a testament to our team, and enjoyable projects that everyone really gets into, and it'd be nice to sort of for everyone to see this as a finished project now with wine in place and the client moved in. The Reimagined ceiling here is symbolising water and looking up through water. This is timber and sort of based on sort of boat building techniques and shapes and contours. So I think there's a nice tie in there with those two elements. And I think also underwater, often you have shaped elements in nature, like rocks and areas that are pounded and washed with wave action, and I think even diving and snorkeling underwater, you see a lot of that sort of shape in natural materials. I think again that's probably a nice tie back with a more organic shape in this rack. We didn't actually design it around that, but it's a nice connection. This is cedar. Beautiful smell of cedar. Beautiful material to work with. And looking its best today. And I think importantly too, I think every project's a collaboration. Many people involved. A great client who really embraced previous works, and we're happy to collaborate and really go all out with a really creative design and space. Thank you to them for allowing us to be part of the team. Great builder, great architect with the rest of the project and this space they provided for us. It's a great collaboration, and really proud for our team to be part of it.
How many bottles do you reckon?
I was just gonna
Yeah, well look, I think bottle capacity, often a metre by a metre, so a face square metre is 100 bottles. So I think you get a bit of a count of the space you're seeing, but I haven't committed an exact number to mind. But I'm sure our client knows every bottle in here and how many spaces they've got to keep filling it up with, and how many actually go missing on a Saturday night. Pretty impressive space. Yeah, I think lighting elements. I think it's always subtle with wine cellars. I think the pelmets are often our sort of go-to with subtle lighting over displays. Over the pelmets, and then the display alcove if that's incorporated. Again, subtle lighting. This is turned up at the moment. We're here during the day, but that can be toned down. And I think this more sculptural organic piece obviously doesn't have any displays. It's all just mass bottle. So there's subtle backlighting there from top and bottom, and you're getting a bit of that emphasised with the behind mirrors. But yeah, I think subtle light does its thing in a wine cellar. And this wine cellar too, the client's got a lift shaft that runs right through the multi-level property. Staircase that runs up to that internal courtyard. I think these little pockets above I think there's quite a lot of intrigue with looking down into the space and looking back up. I think they're really nice little elements. It works very well. Yeah, well, there were some early design concepts of this concave actually running at the break point, the mid point, running up to an actual, not using the Ryan zinc and having a mirror, and then breaking at that midpoint so you get the reflective view of the rest of the concave, and that would be pretty dramatic too. We have also played on other concepts with the concaves to wrap it right around and down the other side and then create this snaking cave. So there's a project in that too if anyone's ever interested. Got lots of ideas. Yeah, but special space, and it's great to see it today. Great project, and very proud to be part of the team, and it's great to be invited back to take a few snapshots and see the cellar as it was designed with wine bottles in place. So so it had its challenges, and but here it is.